to replace a ball cock. What? What's so funny? Ball cock is broken.
Ball cock, the word. It's funny. Oh, hey.
That's a funny.
He's known by many for his role as Kim Chi on Kim's Convenience. Now, Andrew Phung has taken that experience and his 5 Canadian Screen Awards and started his own show.
3, 2, 1, dance!
Run the Burbs is a fresh take on the classic immigrant family narrative, a show that's inspired by Phung's own experience, a son of immigrants who's now grappling with fatherhood himself, and all the laughs and lessons in between.
One trip.
We put in work.
Oh, the bank broke. Come on.
Phung's story started in the suburbs of Calgary, when he unexpectedly fell in love with improv as a teenager. It's the city where he hustled to turn that passion into a real profession. Andrew Phung has come a long way from those small stages in Calgary, the creative force behind a sitcom that's breaking new ground with its take on the modern Canadian family.
Why are we doing this?
This is family bonding time. Okay, we're all doing a chore. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
So Andrew, we're at Regency Palace restaurant in Calgary. This was your suggestion. Why here?
Because this place has been an iconic place in my life, my whole life. Coming here for Saturday, Sunday dim sum with my parents, weddings here, grad parties here, like junior high grad parties here. This place has been the center of it, and I think it's just home for me. Yeah. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Oh, this is it here. Thank you. Thank you.
There's some danger with me trying to eat this on camera, though, right?
Yeah. There's a possibility with the sauce, but yeah, this is one of my favorites growing up. I do crave it, so when I'm out in Toronto, this is what I look for.
So let's talk about your parents for a moment. You as the child of immigrants, what impact did that have?
Huge impact. My parents worked opposite schedules. My mom would drop me off at like 5 in the morning at my grandparents' house, take care of me. She would go work at a cafeteria at a school, and then pick me up after school, and then get me dinner to help me with my homework, and then go back to work again at 6 o'clock. Then my dad, who was working all day, would come home at 6 o'clock and take care of me at night. I saw that struggle. My mom working 2 jobs as a server, my dad working at a metal fabrication shop. I've seen the growth. I saw the day my dad was able to, with another guy, leave and start their own business. I saw the day my mom opened up her own business, a flower shop in Forest Lawn. I've seen that growth. I've seen the Canadian dream. And I saw the value of hard work. Thank you.
And so you are living the classic immigrant son story by doing comedy. I'm kidding.
Yeah. But it's so great because I went to go work for my dad at that metal shop when I was 14.
Yeah.
I might be breaking some labor laws there, but I went to go work there. My dad always told me, Andrew, money is hard to make. You got to work really hard for it. And I realized that coming home, dirtied up from the grease and the metal, my hands hurt, tired. And he did that every single day. And so I recognize the value of hard work now.
So there you are, a teenager in high school, like all of us, trying to find your way in the world. And then you discovered improv. And from what I understand, for you, that changed everything.
It changed everything. I started doing it when I was 16 because our teacher, a drama teacher, had hired an improv instructor for the week. She saved all this money. We went down to the Loose Moose Theater Company, and it felt so free. And she said, you can go do that. And I was like, I can? So that's when the love happened. That's when that light flickered, right? You're finding your path. And that's why I attribute so much of Calgary to amazing teachers. I'm half Chinese, half Vietnamese. I'm a Calgarian, born and raised. And I remember when I came out to audition for Kim's Convenience, Jean Yoon, who plays Amma, looked at me. She's like, "Wait, you're an Asian comedian from Calgary," and she just looked at me and said, "How did you make it out?" And it stunned me because I guess that's the perception outside of this province. The general consensus is you're not doing comedy in Calgary to make it. You're doing it because you love it.
So here we are in the Ironwood Stage and Grill, the old Gary Theatre. Your first time here for a long time. What memories does it bring back?
I remember walking in here when it was the Loose Moose Theater, and in total there were about 6 or 7 of us, and like most of us were Asian, and the Loose Moose had never seen so many Asian kids show up to take improv classes, so they called this the Asian Invasion. And I spent so much time here, and then the theater closed. It was a really sad day, and I haven't come in here since because it hurt too much. So it's pretty surreal to be back in here.
You loved improv, but improv is tough. Like I'm just watching it. There's some cringe-worthy moments. Did you have any fails up on stage?
I could talk about fails for hours. So many fails. Probably the first 4 years of improv was all failing. And really that's what improv taught me. Improvisation taught me to fail. Because when I started improvising, I was trying to be really good and trying to be funny. And by doing that, I was not good and not funny. But here, I remember my first failure. My artistic director, Dennis Cahill, said after the show, "Well, that wasn't a good show." He said it. He was very blunt. He still is. And he said, "Well, you get to come back next week and try again." That was everything that I could fail and come back and try again.
It's a picture of us. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's so nice.
Did you notice anything?
Oh, you Photoshop Mom out.
Oh, Dad, I thought that's what you wanted.
No, that's exactly what I wanted, not what she wanted.
When did you feel confident enough that you were going to go all in with comedy?
It was 2012. And I was the director of a nonprofit organization, and I genuinely loved that job. And while doing that, it gave me time to do a lot of comedy. And I created this Excel spreadsheet, and it categorized every single month. And at the very bottom was how much I was making at a job, and the very above was how much I was making as an artist. And there was a point where I'm like, oh, I made as much as an artist this month as I did at working my job. So I said, quit my job, going after it. And I set up that Excel spreadsheet, and if ever I went under my job salary, I'd have to reevaluate my options. And there were months where I was down $50. And I'd call around, try to book a gig, try to do a show, try to do a set, anything to get above that number. And I've never been under that number, and I still use that Excel spreadsheet.
So on that spreadsheet, the numbers started to change, I guess, when Kim's Convenience came along.
Yeah, and I remember I showed my mom the contract of Kim's Convenience, and my mom was like, "They're gonna pay you to be on TV?"
Hey, cover your shoulders.
Sorry, what's going on?
Look, I can't help it if she's into me.
Fine. Chung's the hot one, so go for it.
What?
I'm clean, I cooked, I love that story about your great-grandmother who was suffering.
She was a suffragette.
Whatever, the point is, you're gonna fall for the guy with the abs and let the guy with personality get away.
Law of the jungle.
You think I'd drop a guy I like because a slightly more handsome guy is in the room?
Slightly?
You heard her.
So, we got some of the essentials here. We got the shrimp dumplings.
Yes.
We got this beef rice crepe. We got barbecue pork buns.
Fantastic.
If you're feeling these.
Oh my, I did. You noticed I had more than my share.
Oh,
That's why you're asking me that.
Well, no, I am so happy because I can come back and order this anytime. I'm not hoarding food.
Well, if that gives you joy, I will give you joy for the rest of this lunch. Let's talk about Kim's Convenience and the huge success that had. And there you were, a key part of the cast. What impact did that experience have on you?
Everything. It put us in the spotlight in the center of it. To work with that cast and tell that story that was so relatable. People coming up on the street telling you how the show changed their life. They felt seen for the first time. It was a joy making that show with that cast and telling that story. And I'm so thankful for that opportunity.
So you go from a supporting role in that show to run the Burbs, where you are the co-creator, executive producer, star, or one of the stars. It's a show about adults who are the children of immigrants and now in turn are parents.
Yeah.
And that's your experience.
That is my experience. It is. You raise your kids as a parent with 1 foot in Canada and 1 foot in the country where your family is from, and sometimes you've never even been there. You know, handed down traditions that you do, and you're like, why do we do this? You're trying to like shape it, and you're trying to do it, and I find that wasn't reflected in our storytelling. Kim's Convenience was the immigrant experience. But I always did wonder what would happen when Jung, Janet, and Kimchi, when they have kids. Mm-hmm. And really, with this show especially, I want to tell the story and I want to like normalize families of color in the suburbs because we've been erased from a bit of the storytelling there. And so I carry that responsibility with great importance. I care about it. I want to do good work. I want to make people laugh, but I want to do it and authentically represent this family and our community.
A toast. It's that, and I am happy to celebrate today with our friends and our family. Looking forward to this delicious meal, all thanks to my talented wife, and spending more time with you, Mom and Dad. Chúc mừng năm mới.
Happy New Year!
My relationship with my kids is really open. I'm trying to build emotional intelligence and strong relationship with my kids so that they feel like they can come to me whenever they need me. My parents see that, and they're always like, your relationship with your kids is completely different than us. My dad made a comment one time. He's like, you say I love you a lot to your kids. I'm like, I do. He's like, I didn't. I'm like, I know. I'm aware, right? But then he did say, but you know I love you. I'm like, I know you love me. You know, I know you. I know you're proud of me.
You discovered that the way they treated you, kind of with discipline, wasn't because there wasn't that love there. It's because they felt that's what they had to do.
It's what they had to do. They were working 2 jobs and they were working opposite schedules. They were just trying to make sure they had a good kid, you know? And we talk about all the sacrifices that immigrant parents make, and honestly, all parents make for their kids. That's it, right there. I realize this now. I was watching my parents grow up, and that's something I forget.
Yeah.
Because when I raise my kids, I'm just trying my best, and I'm growing up, and I don't know what I'm doing. They didn't know what they were doing. They were just trying their best. They were 2 young kids growing up, you know? But as my parents get older and they worry about me less, I'm seeing those proud parents. Like I remember my mom was like, they wanted me to have a good job. When I told my mom I wasn't gonna be a lawyer, she cried. She cried. And then when they saw me succeeding in acting, they loosened up and they connected to it. Then when Kim's Convenience hit, my mom would walk around a plane and tell people, hey, my son is on Kim's Convenience, can you please watch it? She's so proud now. And so as a child, I feel like I'm so happy I've been able to give that to my parents, this feeling that they can like relax now.
You're still not a lawyer.
I'm still not a lawyer. I'm still not a lawyer. Though the day I get to play a lawyer will be pretty interesting. Will be very exciting. Yeah.